सबसे पहले तो I want to wish all the women who have joined this live stream and this are watching this video. I want to wish you a very, very happy International Women's Day. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you were treated in a very special way. I know every day is a Women's Day, but आज के दिन special treat करने में ऐसे birthday वाली feeling आती है. My name is Chavi Mittal. I'm the co-founder of Shitty Ideas Trending and the founder of Being Woman. I'm a content creator and I'm also a mom of two. So today I'm going to talk about something very relevant. We are going to be talking about the disproportionate burden which is put on female workers in workplace and how to maintain work-life balance. तो pandemic के बाद मुझे लगता है कि I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong and let me know your thoughts on this. On women who are working women working from home. वैसे तो men and women both were working from home during the pandemic, but especially women, उनके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा pressure रहा काम का और बाकी responsibilities का. There's the children, there's cooking and cleaning, there's domestic chores, there's family, and then there's the PPT which has to be sent out urgently in the middle of the night. I felt all those pressures. I'm sure a lot of other women did too. And this has led to a lot of emotional and physical burnout among women. So I think इस चीज के बारे में बात करना बहुत जरूरी है. तो आज मैं और मेरे साथ हमारे कुछ experts, कुछ ऐसी female experts जिन्होंने ये experience भी किया है, and they are going to be also helping us understand how you can strike a balance between your professional and personal life. So I want to welcome Anisha Udeshi, who's Senior Director Global Insurance and Risk CIPLA, Sukanya Dasgupta, Director Marketing and Communications, Colliers India, and Deepti Rustagi, Group Legal Head and Chief Compliance Officer at Policybazaar.com. Welcome, women.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you. And wishing all women over here a very, very happy Women's Day and all the good wishes and all the love and hugs coming from my side.
Thank you, Anisha. तो मुझे बताओ, मैंने ठीक बोला ना? ये सारा प्रेशर सब पे रहा ना लॉकडाउन के टाइम?
100%
Of course, yes.
तो okay, before yes, Anisha.
रहा भी और फेल्ट भी किया, उसको फील भी किया.
Yeah, I know, man. और ये बहुत सारी women जो ये पैनल अभी देख रही हैं वो सब ऐसा ही कहेंगी, I'm sure. So before we start the discussion, I want to ask you a very generic question. What kind of rapid changes do you think have come in the lives of women with respect to gender roles and responsibilities? ऐसे कौन सी responsibilities थी जो पहले थी और कौन सी नई responsibilities आजकल की women के shoulders पर आ गई हैं? So I'm going to start with you, Deepti, if you can answer that question.
Yeah, Chavi. So, I'll say that the issue of gender, disparity is being addressed by many organizations these days. Both diversity and the inclusiveness is also being encouraged. But I think there's much more that needs to be done. Today, one can see many women, leaders taking up the CXCO profiles, and even one can see many leaders, joining the boardroom. Women are professionally are taking initiatives and are also becoming the new age entrepreneurs. But if you see statistically, the numbers are very, very low, Anisha. And there's much more that needs to be done. And, we need women at workplace kind of a support that should be coming in. So, yeah, that's from my side on that.
What do you think, Anisha?
Chavi, I would like to talk about two things. One is at a professional level, and the other one is at a personal level. My family and myself, my family. So I think there were burden on personal life to start with, because we could not get our household, a house help to come and visit us and do our regular, activities like cooking, cleaning, and sweeping, swabbing, and all those things which were required. I mean, we are so used to having those activities done by those house helps. And, the moment lockdown was announced, all the responsibilities psychologically came on a woman of the house. And that was the time when the first that hit you, that, oh my God, how would I be able to balance these things which are new to me? I mean, we are hardly that kind of people who are, doing those household chores in a regular manner. So that was a shock. And luckily, for some reason, I think, men in the house realized that this was going, because initially for a few days it started with a lot of work getting done on at home, and we were getting tired, and by the end of the day, like, it was honestly the kind of a situation where you are just not able to understand whether you should get angry on yourself or you should pity yourself. That was the situation that I felt. And luckily, people were at home. My husband and my mother-in-law were there at my place because my son stays away in Canada. So my husband realized that it was, I was actually struggling with that. And there was a connect. And I really am so very happy to tell you that, that connect was so very powerful that he started helping me with the household work. And it was kind of a division of work. So both of us were working, both of us were working on the professional front, as well as both of us were working on a personal front. So that was one thing that really worked out. And there were pressures, of course. There were the contribution of higher work came in my share, but it was manageable. That that somebody's there with you, and that is what is making you feel good about it. Professionally, it was business as usual because we were a part of a essential services industry, being a pharma company. So it was work as usual, and people did not realize at times that everyone would have some tea time break or a lunch time break, or at least you have to cook. So that kind of a break where at times people kind of worked on those, they breached deadline, and there were discussions. And once you make them understand that please mind that this is my personal time, or this is my time for cooking or something like that, people understood. Gradually people understood, but initially that burden came on all work. I mean, I suppose everybody, men or women alike. I think that was the issue
No,
which
I
we
think,
faced.
Anisha, what you said about shared responsibility made a lot of sense to me. And thankfully, I've also been one of the lucky ones where my husband took full responsibility of all the workload and we shared everything. In fact, we took turns to cook. एक दिन उनकी बारी होती थी, एक दिन मेरी बारी होती थी खाना बनाने की, और झाड़ू पोछे की भी हमारी ऑल्टरनेट डेज की ड्यूटी होती थी, और काम तो दोनों का है ही. बट प्रोफेशनली आई थिंक आई कम फ्रॉम अ मीडिया बैकग्राउंड, तो हम लोगों की लाइफ में कोई टाइम नहीं होता है, 9 to 5 का कोई वो ही नहीं होता है, कोई फंडा ही नहीं होता है. हम लोग 9 से लेकर 10 बजे तक, 11, 12, 1, 2 कभी तक भी काम करते हैं. एंड एवर सिंस आई गॉट इनटू द कंटेंट क्रिएशन बिजनेस, I was forced to follow a routine. And also with my second baby, I realized that routine is extremely important if I want to be sane in life. लेकिन ये लॉकडाउन में कॉर्पोरेट्स भी भूल गए यार, रात के 10 बजे ईमेल आ रहा है, ये जवाब दे दो, वो कर दो, वो सब मैंने बहुत एक्सपीरियंस किया. बट सुकन्या, आई वांट टू आस्क यू दिस नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज टू यू कि I know so many women who are so devoted to their work and very passionate about what they do. I'm not saying that they don't take care of their domestic responsibilities, but मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि the minute somebody meets a woman who's very ambitious, suddenly there are eyebrows raised. ऐसा क्यों होता है? When on the other hand, when a man is very ambitious, that is acceptable. So what do you think is the reason for that disparity?
Right. I think, Chavi, the biggest reason for this is that gender stereotypes are inbuilt, into us right from the childhood. Right from the time we tell boys that blue is your color and pink is for women. Right from the time we tell that, we tell our children that, women are supposed to cook. So if it's okay for a man not to cook, but women must learn household, work. They must learn how to cook. और कुछ आता हो ना हो, घर संभालना आना चाहिए, because otherwise I think, I've even seen people who start saving for a wedding, as soon as, they have a daughter, as if that is the only, ambition women should have. So I think, it's something to do with society. A woman is considered complete, in the traditional sense of the word, if she's a successful wife, mother, daughter, sister, and successful, wife, daughter, sister, mother is also predetermined. If you have, if you do this, then you're a successful wife. If you do this, you're a successful daughter. But I think, it's acceptable for men because बचपन से ही उनको सिखाया जाता है that, you are the protector. All the festivals in India are around that, the brother is the protector, the son will do all the ceremonies. Woman is just supposed to stand or, by her man's side and just expect to get protected. These are the stereotypes that are inbuilt into us. We are taught, that, and these things don't change overnight. There is a huge mindset that needs to change when it comes to considering women as equal, or equal breadwinners. I think the concept that men are supposed to go out and women are sit at home and take care of the house, it's changing, but it's changing at a very slow pace. How many women do you have in the boardroom today? How many women decision makers do you have today? uh, However, having said that, I think this age group of people, my peers, I see a lot of change in the mindset. There is a lot of support, like Anisha said. During the lockdown, men realized how much of balancing, women have to do. A healthy work. What is a healthy work-life balance? We do it every day. I think right from the time you wake up at 6, you start planning your day. What will I do at this time? How will I do this? And add online classes to the dynamics. This is a topic that's very close to my heart because I am a mother of a 5.5-year-old. And so when the lockdown happened 2 years back, he was just 3.5. And just add online classes to this dynamics, and what you have to handle. So if my husband had not supported me at that time, or as a family we had not approached the lockdown and what came with it, I don't think we would have been able to cope with the whole thing. So yeah.
So, Deepti, what do you think? As Sukanya is saying that these dynamics are changing slowly, what do you see around you?
To be very honest, Sukanya, Chavi, I completely agree with Sukanya here. We have stereotyped women and men's role, not paying much attention to the professional capability of a person. To be very honest, even if a woman is working at a certain level, even at lockdown, during lockdown, it was experienced that certain household work, dependent care, was expected to be, performed by women only. Correct. So men were coming forward, but then, I believe that perceptions are supposed to be changed now. Correct. There are perceptions that there are certain roles which are better handled by men versus women. Correct. So at organizations, what is important is the professionalism of a person that should be taken care rather than going into the gender of a person. So, but times are changing, and I think lockdown was the best time when both the genders, professionally respected that the freedom of a person or the ability to perform. So, times are changing, and both the genders are respecting each other's freedom from that perspective.
And Anisha, I think इसमें काफी बड़ा हाथ women का भी है. I don't think we trust our husbands to cook and clean. They never live up to our standards. What do you think?
And actually, Chavi, I have a different story to tell. From both sides of my family, my mother's side as well as my husband's side, I was lucky. I mean, touch wood for that. I had a father who believed, and we are three sisters from my side. So my father believed that it was not supposed to be a woman's job only to be cooking, and he always used to tell me that तेरे साथ में मेरी house help भेजूंगा, so that you don't have to be worried. And he used to be stopping us from going near the kitchen or going near the gas stove, because he always thought that you are destined to become something different. And that was the confidence that he inculcated in us, all three sisters. That was one thing. And like, luckily for me, I mean, I really thank my stars that from my husband's family also, people, my husband and the family members believed in gender equality. So here I feel that all, and I want to, I am not ashamed to accept that all in our family know how to cook. All the men in family know how to cook, and that was a norm that was there. So with my limitation in cooking, my husband helped me learn certain things which I never knew. So
But Anisha, with
I
majority of the people,
that worked.
we, but I'm saying that with majority of the females, that's the only challenge. One is working, and there is a presumption that the household work, when it comes to, motherly care, when it comes to, taking care of children, taking care of your parents, the expectation is that, this will be taken care by the women, right? Or you are performing equally well on your professional life, but so that's the pressure which generally we all guys have to manage it somewhere. And
I
obviously, if
would
you have a
I
good
would
support,
add I would add one thing over here. More than your immediate family, the perception around the family, other family members, is that a woman should be working, like both ways. उसमें क्या है? Like, if she has come late from work, she has to cook. I mean, that is the perception that that other people, other family members have it, and I have an objection over that.
yeah.
That does not change. Unfortunately for us, I mean, maybe a husband and wife or a mother-in-law immediate family would understand that, she needs her space, she needs some time to relax and all that. But sometimes other family members feel that, oh, usme kya hai? So I have a problem over there, and that mindset still exists.
Let's see that I think a lot of that has to do with financial independence, right? अभी in my experience, जैसे घर पे समझो छोटा मोटा कोई plumber का काम है या carpenter का काम है, when the woman of the house talks to him, he doesn't listen. He wants the man of the house to talk to him because he in his head thinks the man is who's going to pay him. So what do you think, Deepti? How important is financial independence for a woman, even if she's a homemaker, and how does it affect her personal and professional life?
So, Chavi, I'll say that financial independence is completely priceless in today's time. It's very, very priceless. It gives the women the strength and confidence in the decision making at all stages of one's career. If your finances are sorted, as a woman, one can be leading much more happier and relaxed life. This is what I feel personally. One also needs to say whether you're working, or you're a homemaker for uncertain times. It's very, very important to have that kind of a savings because the life is very, very unpredictable, especially in these, trying times. And being a woman, you have to be, taking care not only of your personal expenses, but also, taking care of your household. And as I said, that it's completely unpredictable times. So yes, I say that it's very, very important for a woman, be it a homemaker or a professional, to save for oneself, and it helps you to take right decisions at various stages of your life. It's very, very important.
What do you think, Sukanya? What are your thoughts on this?
So I totally agree with Deepti. I come from a family where, luckily, where there was equal importance given to my education, my ambitions, the career that I wanted to pursue. At the time when I started, when I started working in the field of marketing and PR and communications, a lot of people didn't even know what marketing is. They used to think that I go door to door and I sell something because and PR still I struggle to sometimes communicate with people what I do. PR, public relations, this is my job, communications. Even now when the world has advanced and everybody is talking about technology and digital marketing and digital strategy, even now, so I also have to explain. आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हो ना, उसमें जो आर्टिकल आता है वो मैं करती हूँ, वो मेरा काम है, वो समझ जाते हैं लोग because newspaper everybody knows, right? So, I come from that family where my career choice was very path-breaking. I didn't want to become a doctor or an engineer or a teacher, three professions which everybody knows about. Okay, I wanted to be a marketer. And that in itself, reflected my ambitions and what I want to do. And how successful I would become in a career which people didn't even know about. That is something, one can only comment on now. However, the financial independence that comes with your decisions, your ambitions, it brings a different kind of confidence, in you. Of course, there is a sense of security, In the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, there were salary cuts, and we were hearing about it, across globally. That was a global trend that happened. So, imagine a household where, there's only one bread earner and that person loses his or her job. It's basic survival, for some households today. And the more financially independent you are, the more involved you can be in joint decision making. You have a right to choose. You have a right to share your opinions, and also be accepted. And times have changed, where one used to only focus on a man's career or what he wants to do. You can be equally driven, you can be equally ambitious, you can earn more than your husband. It's absolutely okay. And create a balance in your life. So I strongly believe if you are not happy, you cannot make anybody happy. And if I'm doing what I love doing, then I'm happy and I can make my family or anybody around me happy. Otherwise, it's just adjustment, which I don't think can make anybody happy. So,
Absolutely, that was very well said, Sukanya. And I also think financial independence homemaker के लिए होना भी जरूरी है, because there
बहुत.
are so many times we see that women are in bad marriages, but they cannot take any kind of stand for themselves because they feel they are financially dependent on this man or this family.
Absolutely.
So could you खुशी की आपने बात कही, if you're happy doing what you're doing, if you're happy, you can make
Yes.
others around you happy, and then you
Yes.
can fulfill all your roles in a satisfactory way. But हम लोग अब बात कर रहे हैं कि प्रोफेशनल लाइफ और पर्सनल लाइफ का जो बैलेंस हमको मेंटेन करना है, लेकिन ये करने में जब एक वर्किंग वुमन जो है उसके लिए ये करने में क्या क्या हिंड्रेंसेस वो फील करती है, क्या क्या उसको डिफिकल्टीज होती हैं कि वो अपना काम भी कर सके, घर का भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कर सके और खुश भी रह सके. व्हाट डू यू थिंक, अनीशा? व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट challenges that women face in doing that?
Very well articulated question, Chavi, because first is the acceptance. When Sukanya mentioned about unconventional, professions that we choose. If we choose unconventional professions like what she had chosen, or what profession that I am in as a risk manager, I'm supposed to be visiting, my manufacturing facilities. Which is generally, a men's domain. And when you have to go there as a person coming from, coming and asking them question is a big, big professional acceptance you need to get from them. So that is one area which I felt was very much prevalent when we started working. I started working about 30 years ago. And at that time, going to a plant, asking certain questions, pointed questions or critical questions to the men folk was very difficult. And that was one thing that we had to learn the art of balancing. So, like without kind of damaging their ego, and without damaging our own self-respect, that connection or that balance that we have to manage was one thing that I feel was very, very important for us. And now we see that, so many women have accepted this particular profession, which is other than doctors, being a doctor or a teacher or an engineer at the most. And people used to be telling us, when you go for the first time, we were meeting them for the first time, they would say, "Oh, aap insurance agent ho." And you have to explain it to them that no, I'm not an agent. I'm much more like, I come from a legal background. So we had to explain it to them that this is what our profession is, and we are we should be allowed to do our profession as per our requirement.
What do you think, Deepti? What are the kind of struggles that women go through when they are trying to maintain their professional and domestic responsibilities?
Yeah. So, Chave, what I feel is that, significant number of women generally join the corporate sector at very entry level or a mid-management level, right? However, only a small percentage of them are able to continue in their jobs. Most women quit their careers half-heartedly, and this happens generally at two stages in one's career. When one is about to get married, and the other one is that, motherhood. So these are the two important stages in women's life, which actually impacts a lot of decision making. I personally feel that if one is able to maneuver some solutions around these two critical stages of women's life, you are there for a long inning. So it's very, very important to be strong at those two stages, specifically at the time of marriage. I have generally seen that they are young professionals when they get married. They try to look out for new jobs as well. I personally feel that whenever you are at a very important juncture of your life, like a motherhood or a marriage, it's important to prioritize your continuity of the existing job. The kind of support that you can get from your existing employer vis-a-vis the new employer, where you're going to make a mark. You're trying to make a mark at the same time you are coming up with your personal challenges. It's important that you should be conscious about the right decisions at the right time. So yeah,
I
that's
think
what I.
sometimes what also happens is that एक तो ये चीज होगी कि आपने खुद से drop out कर दिया, you are looking for a job change or you want to quit now and stay at home. Chalo, I think that's still a personal choice. But sometimes what happens is that women are forced to quit also because corporates feel कि अब उतना time नहीं दे पाएगी या things like that. That's
Absolutely.
also a challenge I think a lot of women go through. I, for example, when I was a TV actor, I suddenly when I got pregnant and then when I delivered subsequently, I was loaded with acting offers which were far older than my age. I was being offered roles of 60-year-old women, 50-year-old women when I was just 30. And I thought that was kind of them telling me to just get out of the industry because I wasn't
Absolutely.
ready to compromise. And then I decided to have a career shift and do something on my own and cast myself and employ myself to take charge. But a lot of women are unable to do that. So I think that's also a big hindrance. What do you think, Sukanya?
So, Chavi, I think there are 2 points that I'd like to, bring out here. So the biggest difference, biggest change that has happened is that with the pandemic, there's an encroachment into your work, into your personal space, with work from home, which a lot of people have been propagating, talking about. I think it's been an encroachment into your personal space because there is no absolutely no a timeline. Like you said, there's no 9 to 5 in your job. I think every time there is a lockdown and our offices are shut, even our 9 to 5 goes for a toss because people assume you're at home, so you're free. Okay, so it's okay to give you a call or keep meetings at 7:30 in the morning or 8 p.m. in the night because you're just sitting at home, right? So the mental shift that that happened during that time and continues to do for many people who are still working from home or cities that are emerging out of the pandemic. So that made work life balance to create a healthy work life balance very difficult because you have a child wailing outside, but you're on a Teams call and he's banging on your door and wanting you to come out. All that you don't experience when you're in the office, right? Because you're out, you've stepped away from home, and there are people to manage your home. So it doesn't reach you and it doesn't affect you, if I may put it that way. The second biggest challenge I feel, and someone had advised me when I was expecting, and at that time maternity break was for just 3 months, and someone had told me then that don't hesitate to ask for help. Women traditionally have this mindset that if I'm asking for help, I'm weak, or क्या मैं संभाल नहीं सकती. Women traditionally come from that mindset that asking for help is a bad thing. It's not. If you don't ask for help, or if you don't create a support system around you, like before this pandemic and this whole thing happened, my son used to go to the daycare when he was less than a year old. I'd put him in daycare because if I want to do something, I have to take certain decisions. And, so I had built my life around institutions and helps because I wanted to work, and I wanted to, I didn't want to take a sabbatical or make that as an excuse, So, when the pandemic happened and daycare shut, and my son was home, it was very challenging, because suddenly you were not leaving your home behind to go and focus on your work. I think my advice would be to not hesitate to ask for help. If you need help, if you need support, there are people around you who would be happy to to help you if you only ask, or reach out. So I think that hesitation has to go from women. That's
So
what.
I'm really happy that you brought up this point because when a woman starts getting successful in her career, many times, and I can say that as a social media influencer, I get so many messages around this question, which is mom guilt. कि
I
अरे
know,
मैं
mom
अपने
guilt. हाँ.
घर को टाइम नहीं दे पा रही हूँ, मैं बहुत ज्यादा बिजी हो गई हूँ. And I think
Yeah,
sometimes more than people around, it is you
it's your
yourself who
own
get,
guilt. Yeah, it's your
yeah.
own guilt
तो
that
वो
I'm
जो
a good
conscience के
mother.
ऊपर जो play
Yeah.
होता है, how do you handle that? What can you tell our viewers? How can they handle that?
I
Sukanya.
think like you said, Chavi, I think the guilt starts from within. Like we hold ourselves responsible. If I, for example, if I miss a PTM meeting, or something, that I could have attended or should have attended, but could not because of work commitments. I think first, we need to understand that we cannot do everything. We cannot be everywhere. It's up to us to prioritize what is important on that day at that time. Whether it's your personal commitment, whether it's your professional commitment, whatever it is, be very clear. If it's your decision, it should be totally guilt free. You should not blame anybody around you that oh, I couldn't go to that meeting because this happened. Why I also feel a lot of women are missing in leadership roles from the boardroom is also because they take a decision to take a break, or to step out. Starts with 6 months sabbatical, goes to 4 5 years. That's the reason is the support system which we are ourselves hesitant to create. I recommend daycares to all my colleagues and my friends, because I've had a wonderful experience. But that guilt, oh, I will put my child, such a small child, in daycare, what will happen? Nothing will happen. And if something happens, you're there to handle it. And today I think even corporates, the mindset is changing. There is flexibility. If you have a problem and for some reason you need to be home, there is flexibility, use it. The guilt and the hesitancy is in our mind. So if we don't get rid of that guilt, no one else can help us around us. And then ultimately there's a lot of blame game that happens within the families. So that would be my my first and foremost recommendation to women: get rid of your
So
guilt.
what do you think, Anisha? How can these women who are guilt stricken, how can they help get out of that?
First, one has to have confidence in oneself that if I'm happy, I completely resonate with Sukanya said, what Sukanya said, that if you are happy, you will be able to make everybody happy at home. So, and even if you are not able to make everyone happy, that is okay. I mean, nobody does that all the time. So, you have to know your priorities. There is no negotiation on financial independence, and if you have these two things sorted out, I think it becomes easier for you to lead your life the way you want it. Because, and in addition to what Sukanya said, I would say that when you are having your babies, you are giving you are leaving your babies at babysitting, a good babysitting, then you are making, to an extent, you're making them independent also, and those
Absolutely.
kids
Yeah.
they become more independent and they are more,
Absolutely.
confident on themselves. If you are keeping them in your shadow, I think at times we spoil them. So I think, to an extent, it is very much of a necessity that you make them independent in the world that is going to be faced by them. So these are my simple principles, that you be happy, you have your financial independence, and you make your children more ready for the world for tomorrow by being that.
I also want to add here that ये जो आप mom guilt की जो बात, whatever women talk about mom guilt and feel that guilt, feel it only as much as your husband does. Why is there not a term called dad guilt? आजकल फिर भी कुछ ऐसे dads हैं जो feel करते हैं that we want to spend more time with our children. I'm really happy about that. But mostly it's okay for the dad to go to work and leave the child at home, but not for the mother. And like you said in the beginning, कि ये सदियों से चला आ रहा है, हमारी जो पुरानी स्टोरीज भी जो हम सुनते हैं सब उस सब में यही सिखाया जाता है. That is why probably a lot of mom guilt is present today in today's generation,
Yes.
which you can totally avoid by just understanding that you are, as a parent, 50% in your child's life. And also, I want to add a very interesting statistic here that if you're a working mother, the chances of your children, girl or boy, to be in the higher income group are much higher than if you're a not a
Absolutely.
working mother.
I
And
second that.
about
Yeah.
what you spoke about independence, I also want to add another statistic here that between the age of 0 to 2.5 years, the qualities that you learn stay with you. The qualities that a child learns stays with him for the rest of his life. These are habits and these are characteristics which will define his personality. उसके बाद 3 साढ़े 3 साल की उम्र के बाद आप habits form भी कर सकते हैं, आप habits break भी कर सकते हैं. But the characteristics that you develop as an individual in the first formative years are going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So obviously, what do you want to teach your kids? Independence is very, very
Absolutely.
important. So don't feel mom guilt at all.
At all,
I
at
want to
all.
ask you, Deepti, how is it how important is it to understand and give due importance to the mental health of women, and how can other people help maintain a healthy mindset amidst them trying to maintain work-life balance? बाकी लोग कैसे उनकी help कर सकते हैं और कितना important है ये?
See, Sukanya, it's very, very important. Sorry, Chavi, it's very, very important, to maintain that healthy mindset. It's very, very important. Today, women, not only handle one role, correct? She's also a mother. She's playing the role of a spouse. She's also, playing a role of a professional as well as a daughter. I personally feel that a happy and a fulfilled woman, as you rightly said, will have a happy and a fulfilled child. Correct. So once you are happy and fulfilled, your child will be happy, and you will also be able to contribute professionally much better. What you can do to be happy, you should always reach out for help. Never shy away from taking any help from your ecosystem, be it personally or professionally. Today, a lot of organizations, they give flexibilities. So as long as the women are using those flexibilities judiciously and not abusing them, the ecosystem is very much there to help you out. Correct. I personally feel that never shy away from taking a day off if you have a sick child at home, if you want to attend a PTM, if you're leaving on time. Correct. These are your rights, and don't be guilty about it. Also, when men use some of these flexibilities, they are generally seen as sensitive. I think we should not be seen differently from them. So this is what I feel. You just have to balance out what is important at which stage of your career, and it's very, very important to be mentally well at all the times, because if you are happy, you will be able to keep your ecosystem happy.
So I think what you're also trying to say is a little bit about me time. Happiness जो है उससे me time काफी important हो जाता है, because you can't be happy if you do not have any me time. So what do you do in your me time, Sukanya? How do you unwind?
So I think mental health is a very, very it's very important to address today, and it's the least talked about, at least in India, because there of again all the stereotypes around mental health. Because the moment it like I always say, it's okay to say you're not okay, but because of the stereotypes that we have, pagal hai, dimag kharab hai, these are the things that no one wants to hear. And so it's okay to just, shove it under the carpet and not talk about your mental health and your me time and space that you need. I think it's very important, not just for women, but for everybody to have that quality me time. What I do when I am I'm an avid fitness freak. I, love to work out or go for a walk or do something, around fitness whenever I get the time. This year I've decided, to focus a lot on cultivating, hobbies. So I've started playing badminton. I've started cycling, basically, focusing on things that I like doing. So that 1 hour or 2 hours, when I'm away or when I'm doing, when I'm cycling with my friends or when I'm playing badminton or when I'm exercising is the best time of the day because it helps me unwind. I think of nothing and I just focus on myself and, that's it. So
That's amazing.
that's
That's
how
amazing.
I,
I'm also a fitness freak, so I can totally
I
relate to
know,
that.
I see your videos.
Oh, thank you. Those 1.5 hours in the gym is something I live for, and it completely like sets me for the day, and I'm ready for
Absolutely.
all kinds of
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
Anisha, what do you do for your me time? How do you unwind?
I have a couple of hobbies. I read a lot. I write also, and I have started learning to dance. I mean, I learned salsa some years ago, but I was always wanting to learn Bharatnatyam. And so during this lockdown, I started attending online classes and I've started learning Bharatnatyam. So I really enjoy that. And that keeps me fit also and that makes me happy also. So it is a double whammy for me.
What about you, Deepti? What do you do?
To be very honest, I just go for a solo walk. That's what actually excites me a lot. And there are many days when I don't feel like attending to office, neither attending to my household responsibilities, and it's the time when I rejuvenate myself. And the solo walks are the best time which I look forward to in mornings.
I want to add a very interesting piece of advice that I got when I became a second time mom. I can't remember who said it, but I was told that there will be times when one child is crying, now the other child is crying, and you will want to cry too. Take 5 minutes, let them cry and come back, you'll be able to handle it
Absolutely,
better. And I
absolutely.
completely rely on that. आज भी अगर मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, I just shut myself in the bathroom, give myself 5 minutes to calm down with music on. I'm like, okay, now I'm ready for you. Now tell me what is the problem.
Now,
So yeah, anything, whatever that works for you, definitely take out some time in your life, in your day for yourself. And with this, I'm going to move on to audience questions. बहुत सारे questions मेरे पास आए हैं. Uh, how to divide time between work and professional life? Kids need to do online schooling, and at the same time, we have to attend Zoom calls. So कैसे आप balance करते हो? Deepti, why don't you answer this?
see, generally, I follow a very strict schedule, correct? I have a discipline at home. When it's office time, correct, you give your 100% to office. And then when I go back home, correct, there will never be a day that you will not never have a, work on your table. So you have to have
Right.
a very strong and disciplined timelines around it. So I follow that and I'm somehow able to manage it's all about, how you prioritize your work and home life, and it's very very personal decision. So as long as you're honest to your work as well as your household, I think you will be able to manage it. But just be confident, give your 100%, be honest and sincere, and you will find enough support from your ecosystem, be it at office or at home.
That was a very well answered question, and I can totally relate to what you said. कि कभी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि there's no work on the table, कि अब बस काम
Absolutely.
खत्म हो गया, अभी पैर ऊपर करके बैठो.
you
वो
know
टाइम किसी की लाइफ में नहीं आता है.
Ravi, I
And I
honestly
believe what
believe that, honestly, if somebody is working 9 hours or 7 hours sincerely in office, they will be exceptional days, correct? When you need to stretch out, but it can't be a day, a daily habit, right? Um,
yeah, yeah.
uh, so it's very, very important to maintain that discipline around it. Throughout my career, 17, 18 years, whatever I have, experienced, I have always ensured going on time, except on days when, there is a professional demand for myself. Yes, so I maintain that, honestly.
And I know that even today, when I walk into my house after my office, I have never gone to the loo first. I have never washed my hands first. I have not peed or sat down. I have been straight called by my children. कुछ
Yeah.
ना कुछ तो emergency होती है, earthquake कहीं पे आया होता है. And yesterday I just forgot my socks on the sofa, and my husband in the morning is like, ये क्या पड़ा हुआ है यहाँ पे? ये पहनना है कि धोना है? I said, ये धोना है, रुक जाओ. Okay, so the next question is, what does ideal balance look like to the people who depend on you or partner with you? Anisha, why don't you answer that? Ideal balance.
I will be slightly, you know, digressing from what Deepti mentioned, because I think 9 to 5 is not necessary. You can take your time during the day if you think that there is a requirement that your family needs you, or maybe you want to have some time with some call with your a friend, or you want to have a small talk with your colleague, unrelated. It is not necessarily that it should be a related to business talk or a profession talk, but it is okay. You take that time off, because continuously, if you are sitting in front of your laptop or your device, that is going to be impacting your mental health in few years, coming years. So I think it is okay to take things at your pace, as long as you are able to give your 100% to your work. You are committed to complete certain things. You know your timelines. You know things that you need to be doing. You are a responsible person, so you manage that balance. Don't stress that I have to be working from 9 to 5, and that way I would be able to discipline myself. I think I just kind of deviate from that uh, thought process, and I take things at my pace, and I would make sure that even if I have to keep awake till say 1 o'clock in the night, and if I have to be spending some time in the afternoon with my family, I would do that.
Absolutely. That's very well said, Anisha. And I think to answer this question, ideal balance तो कुछ नहीं होता है. Like
कुछ
Anisha
नहीं
is saying,
होता है.
आपका जो balance है वो आप ही decide करोगे,
It's
और
very, very
आपके लिए कोई और
personal,
decide नहीं
absolutely.
करेगा. Like it's different for Deepti and it's different for Anisha. It may be different for me. So now I want to ask. This person is asking, how do you identify कि आप जो भी बैलेंस आप जो कर रहे हो अपनी लाइफ में वो ठीक है कि नहीं है? What are the signs? How do you know what you're doing is right or not? Sukanya.
सो पहले तो आइडियल बैलेंस होना चाहिए, उसके बाद हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि आइडियल बैलेंस अच्छा है या बुरा है. दिस टू मच फॉर मी टू थिंक, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. आई
See,
वाज
I'll say that, to be very,
आई वाज डाइंग टू से दैट आइडियल बैलेंस कुछ नहीं होता है, एंड वो अच्छा है या बुरा है, दैट्स अगेन अ स्टेप फॉरवर्ड. सॉरी दीप्ति वाज सेइंग समथिंग.
same thing, there's nothing called, work-life balance. You will always be juggling between your professional life and household,
Yeah.
correct? You just need to prioritize your, different situations. Sometimes you need to prioritize your home over your professional life. Sometimes you need to prioritize your professional life over your home. As long as you're able to, carve out those priorities nicely, I think things will fall in place for itself, so it's not that difficult.
So, I would just like to add here, there are certain things that you can do to make your life easy. That's all I can say. So, like being punctual, like I'm very punctual, that always helps, because when you are punctual, you plan a bit in advance. And what I do is I plan like I take each day as it comes. I'm not somebody who can plan for April, or maybe it's what I'm going to do 6 months from now, or I plan each day as it comes. And with a small child, that's all you can do. If you've planned a grand meeting tomorrow and you're travel to Mumbai for a meeting, but your child falls sick and you have no option, you may have to take, or some some step. So इससे ज़्यादा आगे का मैं क्यों सोचूं? When certain things are not in your hands, when school shut, things changed. No matter how much we had planned for that wedding or for that meeting or for that client meeting, it all went for a toss. So honestly, my advice would be do things, take each day as it comes, do things that help make your life easy, and that's all I can advise for an ideal balance.
Thank you so much, Sukanya. That was wonderfully answered. मैं अगला सवाल आपसे पूछी हूँ, Anisha. Divya Garg wants to know, talking about women's role in finances, what steps can we take to include women in the budget की बात in every household?
Uh, Good with numbers. If you know you are good with numbers, you must in you must include yourself. You should make people know that your voice needs to be heard anywhere, at home or in your office, because maybe we can't say that we know all, but we definitely have a very good adaptability. So budget is supposed to be that way, and I feel that is the way in which, if you are able to make people hear you with your homework done in advance, I think your problem gets resolved. I mean, not much needs is needed after that.
Okay. Now we come to the last question for the day. In India, the culture of organized childcare is still not very prevalent, and women still depend on extended families. So, what are the steps that corporate India can take in this regard? Deepti.
See, actually, there is a law, very recently being announced, and it's mandatory for many organizations today to provide the crèche facility. So it's very, very important for people to reach out and ask for this help. Organizations are open to extend help. It's for us to seek those help from the organizations. Lots done at various organizations, to help women provide these flexibilities. So just ask for help, and these will be provided.
Any other thoughts you want to add to that, Sukanya?
So, like I was saying earlier, also, I think the daycare facilities, for children. I don't know, maybe because I'm in a metro city, my perspective may be a little different from maybe a tier two, tier three city. However, I feel that, today we are really blessed because there are so many professionally managed daycare centers and preschools, and they have been created for working parents, because I think even the education system has been tweaked a bit to accommodate the demands of working parents. So I honestly never faced any issues. I think a lot of hesitancy is still there amongst parents when it comes to putting their children into daycares or into professional care, because they think कि मम्मी ज्यादा अच्छा देख लेंगी या पापा ज्यादा अच्छा देख लेंगे, दोनों मिलके देख लेंगे ना. But I always feel that a long-term career cannot be planned around your extended family. किसी का cataract operation हो सकता है, किसी का कुछ हो सकता है. So I think it's all about research. Look around, you will find a lot of professional daycares and of reputed brands, where you can easily put your child. In fact, these daycares also give you a CCTV access, which I never took, but they do. If you want to sit and watch your child the whole day, you can do that. But that is any day, I think, better for working parents than totally relying on your extended family. That's my view.
Before I close the session, Anisha, do you have any last thoughts?
Maybe on this particular aspect, I may not be able to comment because my son is almost 28 years of age. So not much can be contributed over here by me.
Well,
But
then I'll
I would
add
like
something.
to
That
I would
please
like to
continue.
add only that I should make, or I have been trying to make my son understand that importance of a woman in his life. He is getting married next month, and I feel that the way I have been able to lead my life with a financial independence, or at whatever things that make me happy, I give a priority to that in most of the times, and that makes me able to keep my family members happy. So I think that, I would like to see that my son also follows that, and he creates another woman to be a great woman, a leader, woman leader in years to come.
That's very nicely said, Anisha, about respecting women. And I think we as women have a huge responsibility to play there because all of us are mothers. We have children, and Sukanya, you have a very, very young child at home. हम लोग हम लोगों के हाथों में इतनी पावर है कि हम अपने बच्चों को कुछ भी सिखा सकते हैं, कुछ भी उनका फ्यूचर हम लोग शेप कर सकते हैं. And that's a very, very, I think that is the biggest responsibility that we have on our shoulders. What is the example that we are setting for our children? What is it that we are teaching them? Are we teaching them that men and women are equal? Are we talking too much about gender? Or are we just keeping everything gender neutral at home? I think असली विक्ट्री हमारी तब होगी जब जॉब्स के लिए रेज्यूमे जाएगा और उसपे मेल फीमेल वाला कॉलम ही नहीं होगा, नाम का कॉलम नहीं होगा, ओनली योर क्वालिफिकेशन एंड योर एक्सपीरियंस विल मैटर एंड देन यू विल बी हायर्ड basis your credibility and your experience, not whether you're a man or a woman. So I think that will be the actual victory for women, where we stop talking about men and women, we stop talking about gender, and we stop finding it important to celebrate a Women's Day separately. So it was a great session with you, women, power women of today, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to my audience for joining all of us and listening to us talk. I hope we all made some sense to you. And please don't forget to join policybazaar.com in the next panel that we do. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is all of us signing out. Love and peace from us to you.
Thank you so
you.
much,
Thanks,
Avi.
everyone.
Thank